The clock chimed 6, and my hand reached for the handle of the door before me, but left it yet unturned. For I paused, and then withdrew it hastily. For I could not at that moment, at the appointed time, bring myself to face once more that which had haunted my thoughts ever since I had first beheld the misshapen and bodiless thing 2 nights previously. I could not, it would seem, summon the strength to fulfill my duty. Was it that this hand of mine was a mockery of obedience? Or was it that the inner child that governs a man's soul now fought against any notion that would urge me to maintain my respectable position, to ignore such fears with indifference and treat them as fancy and indeed folly? As a man of position and purpose, I knew that my intellect should lay firmly in the latter. And yet, here I stood before the door, motionless and afraid, quivering and in absolute denial of that intellect, dreading some evil portent. As I stood there, my mind swam with the thoughts of her once sweet and youthful face, once so innocent, but now turned and ruined by her wanton desires, desires so hideous and unfathomable to my mind that I dared not even to ponder their meaning. For I could not, nay, I would not dare to try. I looked back at my trembling hand once more, a hand that at any other time one could consider strong and reliable, but now seemed merely to belong to naught but a child before a closed door, unmanned and afraid. I looked at the door handle and then back to my hand once more. Obey me, I inwardly commanded myself. This is my duty. I took a deep breath, and summoning all the strength I could muster, I gently and forcibly reached out my hand and turned the handle. The door groaned like a death rattle as it hinged inwards, and the light from within smothered my eyes with the distorted glare of many candles. As if in some wretched waking dream, as if possessed, I stepped forward and entered. And as my eyes climatized to the full illustration was what was held before me, awaiting me, my other senses were met with equal confusion. The musty scent of sweet decay, the purid sickly smell of lavender, and an uncomfortable gnawing heat upon my skin. Sound, too, I distinguished amid those unwanted senses, the disjointed rustle of movement like crushed, decaying leaves or bones. And then, after several heartbeats, the picture before me began to reveal itself with a sudden and unstoppable realization to my eyes. For there, in front of me, all colour was regurgitated to a single point, spewed to a throbbing, entangled mass within the very centre of that vision. The mangled colours of it swam before my eyes, accompanied by that unnatural cracking sounds. For there it stood before me, regarding me, consuming me with eyes determined and wholly demonstrable. Unavoidably, my eyes took full stock of her dress of hideous malfunction, a livery of misguided colours and shape that reminded my mind somewhat of mutated party food, heaped in a massive pile and sagging like a deflated hot air balloon in the middle of the room. And yet, still, her eyes continued to regard me. "Does this dress make my bum look big?" she asked. No, I lied. The dress is perfect, my dear, and complements your complexion. It was at that very moment that I resolved that at the party engagement to which we were both due to attend, I would endeavour to find some innocent gentleman bystander, and purposely insult him, and force his honour, and by this action thereby secure myself a duel on the morrow, a duel in which I had every intention of losing.